for nobody, and I'm just here to help the team to conquer this place and keep winning games.
So an exciting start to life at Old Trafford for Fernandes, but what can we expect from him? Let's head to his native Portugal now and speak to Elena Costa, a coach and commentator for Sport TV. Elena, thank you so much for coming on the Headline Makers. What kind of player then have Manchester United got in Mr. Fernandes?
Well, first of all, they got a midfielder, a very dynamic midfielder. He is very intelligent, reading the game. His knowledge of the game allows him to conquer free spaces or open it free spaces for his teammates. He's also able for the transition moments. His technique is good. As you can see, he shoots since he has an opportunity. So, first of all, I think his spirit, his competitive spirit is one of the things that he makes best. I think he demands so much from himself that sometimes you can see that he's really upset because he wants to do some things and he can't. So that kind of spirit passes also for the teammates, and you could see that in Sporting, in first team of Portugal, and now I think immediately you can see it in Manchester United.
So many players have gone to Manchester before and struggled with the personality they need. Does he have the right character and the strength of personality to own that team and to run that team?
I think so. And when you think on the moments that, for example, Sporting Lisbon is passing through as well, it's a team that is sometimes very irregular, and he was the captain. So I think he's able to move, to help Manchester United to move a step forward because of his character. As I can tell you, he demands too much from himself, and he is also passing that kind of spirit for his teammates. So he's comfortable with this kind of moments that the teams don't have so much comfort. The results are not appearing. So I think he's now really able to help United doing that kind of movements and to give a step forward, and he doesn't feel the environment when it's not good. So the character is one of the things that he have most to help the team right now.
Helena, Ojogo and Ebola and Record, I think, have all done big pieces in Portugal about Fernandes today. Do you think that they see him as the next big Portuguese star in European football? I mean, there seems to be a lot of positivity surrounding him back in Portugal.
Well, Bruno was one of the players that highlight most on the last maybe 2 seasons in Portugal. So, of course, everyone has that strong opinion about him. However, and thanks God, we have a lot of good players. I think he definitely has a big space now in the first team of Portugal, and he moved also in front, that kind of things. The decision of the coach is now one of the 11 on the starting team. And I think also we have another, like you have been playing in the Premier League, Bernardo, also Diogo Jota. We have a lot of good players, but yes, Bruno is one of that kind of generation that we can believe is going to be on the future of Portugal and now on Premier League as well.
And very quickly, Helena, do you think Spurs regret not following up their interest in Fernandes last summer?
Oh, it's very difficult to say that. I don't know how much money do they have to spend for a player, but of course, when you think on a Premier League clubs, you have a lot of money to invest. Depending on the performance of Bruno, yes, but we never know the kind of player they want, the style of game they want to change or to improve. It depends only for the coaches, the managers, and of course the CEOs of the clubs. It's very difficult to answer that, but of course it is a top player. That's no doubts about it.
Eleanor, thank you very much. That's Eleanor Costa speaking to us live from Lisbon in Portugal on the Headline Makers. Eleanor, a commentator for Sport TV, of course, former coach herself. She coached Clermont Foot in the French second division. That was back in 2014. What she was saying was absolutely fantastic. Difficult to listen. It sounded like someone was playing the bagpipes in the background, so I apologise for the technical problem there. Just on Bruno Fernandes as well, there have been a lot of comparisons, Sam, with Paul Scholes and the sort of player who has wing mirrors on him, and you can see why from the performances so far.
Yeah, I saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer compared him to a mix between Juan Varane and Paul Scholes. Which
It's not a bad mix, is it?
Not a bad mix. Yeah, no, exactly. Talk about sort of putting on him straight away. But well, he played that way. And he seems to have... Dan, we were both there at Stamford Bridge last week when United were very impressive in a 2-0 win against Chelsea. And he seems to have a bit of composure, which I think other midfielders at United haven't got, combined with just that vision of the game and the range of passing, which someone like Andreas Pereira has just not shown this season. He's obviously a talented player, but he's never quite delivered that. And you can see why they wanted Fernandes. And at first when he came in, I thought, how's that going to work with Pogba when that works? But you look at him and think, you could see him playing a bit deeper. You could see him playing further forward. I think he's got all the ability in the world. And clearly he likes scoring goals. I mean, his record in Portugal, goal scoring and assists was just phenomenal for a midfield player. So he could probably play anywhere in that midfield. And if Pogba goes, then he can step up, and if Pogba stays, that could be a really, really dynamic midfield.
Gemini says, hashtag the Headline Makers, Bruno Fernandes has the right attitude to take Manchester United forward. I guess the question, Darren, is does he have the consistency to do that? Because it's all well and good looking it over a couple of games, isn't it? We're looking now on a 12, 18-month period here to really get a good judgment on it.
Well, he's done that in Portugal, and that's the first thing. And Sam's talking about the fact that he knows where the goal is. He was even scoring goals, as the tweeter says, during that period where it was up in the air whether he was going to sign for Manchester United or not in January. Some players, when they see a move potentially going up in smoke, they complain, they throw their toys out the pram, they're at war with the club, they're refusing to train. He was going out and scoring goals week in, week out. This is a guy who can cope, as Helena says, with the pressure and the noise surrounding any top footballer and any big club. He can cope with it all. And that's why, of all of the marquee signings that Manchester United have made over the last, 5, 6 years, 7 years since Sir Alex retired, I think he could be among the best.
But sometimes, this is a point I made to Helena as well, it's such a big club. And so many, I mean, when Di Maria first came in, everyone thought, wolf. What a player this guy is. I remember he scored a goal at Leicester with a sort of a lob, but that was just like out of this world. And you thought, this guy's really, he's from Real Madrid, he's going to be a different class. And slowly just, it eats you. United eats players.
But I think you've made the point yourself. If they keep Pogba, now let's assume they finish in the top 4. They're not that far off. Let's finish top 5 now, obviously, potentially. Obviously, we know that City are going to appeal, but let's assume that they finish in a Champions League place. Do they sell Pogba or do they keep him to play Champions League football alongside Fernandes? Because as you say...
They could play together, that would be a good mix.
A really dynamic midfield. Because the big problem with Pogba was that they bought him, but they didn't have the quality around him to get the best out of him. Now they do. When you look at the France side, he's very disciplined in that France side, while other French players in that France side. Well, I reckon.
That's your second best quote of the day. You're being serious in that one as well.
While other players...
We need a break, don't we?
We do. But he's very, very disciplined while other players go and express themselves. And I just think maybe him alongside Fernandes, that could be the axis of something quite positive.
And just finally on Manchester United then, because look, it's not all positive, is it? That he is a huge spark in that team, which those Manchester United fans needed. But is this papering over cracks? Some remain crevices at Old Trafford of what's going wrong there.
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, their defence seems to have sorted themselves out. Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer clearly helps to tighten them up a bit. At Chelsea, I was really impressed with them. I went to that game thinking, I've not seen United for a few weeks. They're a poor side, and they absolutely controlled that from first to last, really. Yes, you beat Watford at home. You'd expect that. It's comfortable enough. And there were chances for Watford that looked a bit, moments of wobbliness at the back, which would be quite alarming for Solskjaer, I'm sure. But the signs for the last few weeks are certainly positive, and sometimes a signing like Fernandes, somebody coming in with the right attitude and the right character, can have a transformative effect. We've seen that. Look at Van Dijk at Liverpool before he joined them. The absolute transformation that followed then, and that's putting a lot on Fernandes' shoulders, and that's asking a lot of him. But by all accounts, he's made a big difference, and it seems on the pitch that they're playing a different style of football now.
Yeah, right, time for a break in which Darren Lewis is going to regather his composure and keep your tweets coming as well. I promise you I'll read you some on the other side. The last time that Arsenal and Everton met, Mikel Arteta and Carlo